How you guys doing? Welcome back inside to Indoor Hydroponics. I'm John, your indoor hydroponic test dummy. Hey guys, this is part 2 of my landscaping with peppers video, and here's my peppers, man. I got 4 flats of these babies going, and they look fantastic. They're starting to really kick in some growth, right? I've got about 2, 3, maybe at most 4 weeks before I can get these in the ground. I'm guardedly optimistic that this is going to warm up in Michigan, okay? So, as you can see, really good growth going on here. Again, as a reminder, this is a 8-part series. This is part 2. Part 1 was getting these babies started, right? I'll put a link below here in case you haven't seen that and you want to get caught up. There will also be a playlist on Indoor Hydroponics about what I'm doing with this particular grow. 72 plants, 4 varieties, all heirloom, grown organically, okay? And what we're going to talk about today is the plan. And planning sucks, right? Who doesn't want to just throw these in the ground and call it good? Well, I'm going to discuss a plan, and I'm going to discuss the importance of a plan. So stay tuned. So what is a plan, guys? A plan is nothing more than an experiment. It's a list of pre-specifications. It's a list of things that I'm going to do to achieve an end goal. Okay, so I would like nothing more than just to sink these in the ground and see what happens, but you know what? I'm not going to learn anything from that. If all 72 of these plants die during this grow, what am I going to learn from it if I don't document it and track the progress of it, right guys? So that's why I'm doing this, okay? And so a couple hundred years ago, and before, we had what? Native Americans in North America, right? And they did lots and lots of experiments on gardening because they didn't have stupid things like video cameras and Kindles and iPhones and stuff. They had to kind of like work for their food, okay? So they did lots of experiments, and what they found was they did a little experiment where they planted corn, beans, and squash together, and what they found out was that was a absolute perfect harmony for 3 plants to work in symbiosis with each other. What do I mean by that? Corn, they would first plant the corn, let it come up a little bit, and then they'd plant beans around the corn, and the beans would trellis up the corn, right? And what would the beans do for the corn? The beans would fixate nitrogen into the soil for the corn to grow, right? Because your corn loves nitrogen. It needs nitrogen to grow. So those two work in perfect harmony. On top of that, they planted squash. Why did they plant squash? They planted squash to let it sprawl around the growing area, okay? And that did 2 things. It conserved water, and it was a natural mulch, okay guys? So those 3 things, that's called what's called a 3 sisters method, okay? And they just didn't come about this. They just didn't, this information just didn't magically appear despite what ancient aliens will tell you. They did this through planning and experimenting, and they found out that this was a perfect growing method. Okay? I will never learn a tenth of what the Native Americans learned about agriculture and about farming and about food production. It will never happen because I have a day job that takes me away from fun stuff like this, okay? However, I am going to have a plan this year. What is my plan to grow these peppers? Let's talk. Okay guys, so I'm going to put some captions right here of what I plan on doing this year to grow these peppers. And I'm going to grow them in my landscape where I would normally plant flowers, okay? And I think that planting flowers and landscaping, unless it's nasturtiums or edible flowers, is stupid. Don't mean to offend anyone, but really they do nothing for me other than consume water and provide nothing for me other than beauty, okay? I'm going to grow these babies here with the intent of growing an edible food forest in my front yard without offending my neighbors. I think it's going to look pretty, okay? So, what am I going to do to get started? Bed preparation. This is all my plan, okay? Bed preparation. Compost, good quality compost, yes, I'm going to use cow manure, okay? Cow manure is fantastic in terms of a natural fertilizer, okay? I'm also going to use peat moss, and I'll probably mix in some vermiculite, and I'm going to aerate my beds with that in mind, okay? So, bed preparation. I'm going to add those 3 ingredients, and I'm going to pop those peppers in the bed with that mixture. And it'll probably be a third, a third, and a third. Okay? Second is I'm going to transplant them without shocking them. Okay? That means hardening these guys off. So transplanting, hardening off. Love that term. Okay? Hardening off is getting your plants acclimated to the weather outside instead of just dumping them in the ground, okay? So these plants have been on a 12-hour light regimen in about a 70 to 75 degree atmosphere their entire lives. If I stick them out in the ground and I get a low temperature of 50 one night, these things are going to suffer, and they're going to get shocked, and they're going to be upset. So I need to get these babies ready and prepped for what they're going to experience outside first. And what am I going to do with that? It's probably going to be a week-long process of tempering them outside. A couple hours one day, increase it an hour the next day, increase it an hour the next day, until they are sufficiently what's called hardened off and ready to plant in the ground, okay? So that is what I'm going to do, and that will be a basis of another video coming up, okay guys? Okay guys, now on fertilization, okay, I'm going to use one sole method for fertilization of these plants, and that is going to be compost tea, okay? And not just any compost tea, active aerated compost tea. That's where we use bubbler buckets, okay? We put an air stone in it, and what does that do? That extracts nutrients from our compost in a liquid format that makes it usable for the plant. It also creates biology in the compost tea, and when we introduce the biology from the compost tea to our growing beds, what that does is it adds biology to our soil. When we add biology to our soil, that biology, those little microbes that go hunting around the soil for food, compost, will consume it and then turn it into something more useful for the plants. What does that do? That increases nutrient uptake, and it also produces healthier plants, and it also is a natural insecticide, okay? And it's also a natural way to prevent fungal diseases and things of that nature. So there's 2 applications to compost tea. There's soil drench, and then there's also a foliar feed spray, which creates a biofilm on top of the leaves, okay? And that is where your fungicide, insecticide, that's where those properties kick into place, okay? So put some beneficial bacteria on your plants and in the soil, and you'll have healthier plants. What am I going to do for compost tea? I'm going to use it once a week. That's right. Every Saturday or Sunday I'm going to brew up a batch, okay? And on the following day, I am going to get out in the soil, and I'm either going to foliar spray one week or soil drench the other, and I'm going to do it on an offsetting basis. So one weekend I'm going to foliar feed, one weekend I'm going to soil drench, okay? So that'll be the topic of another video in the series, okay? But it's all part of the plan, and remember, the plan's important. Now, what am I going to do for insecticides, fungicides, and things of that nature, now that we're leading into that? If the compost tea doesn't work for me, and I have an infestation of insects this year, which is quite possible, right? You never know what nature's going to throw at you. I'm going to use insecticidal soap, okay? And I'm going to make it myself, and I'm going to apply it myself. But I'm going to apply it as needed. So, of course, I need to go out there and inspect my plants often, right? For insects. When I find them, I need to destroy them, and when I destroy them, I'm going to destroy them with insecticidal soaps, okay? But not just any insecticidal soaps with an Epsom salt amendment, because peppers like Epsom salt. So since I'm going to spray them anyway, when I need to spray for them, I'm also going to choose Epsom salt as an amendment, okay? So, insecticidal soap, Epsom salt. What am I going to do with watering? Well, nature's going to dictate watering, okay? But what am I going to do with watering specifically? Soaker hoses. Soaker hoses. Those things are awesome, right? Because what they do is they decrease water usage. They put the water where the plants need it, at the base of the plant, near the roots, okay? And it's a conservation method. Lots of overhead sprinkler systems and things of that nature are a big waste of water. Use soaker hoses. So I'm going to be applying soaker hoses. I'm going to tie them down type of thing. And I will probably put them on a timed watering system. Again though, I'm going to let nature do most of the work. I'm going to use it to my advantage, right? I'm going to use rainwater, natural rain, as much as possible, monitor the plants, and then water as needed. Lastly, and most importantly, along with this plan, is monitoring and tracking the progress of the grow, okay? And I'm not talking about creating spreadsheets and pie charts and diagrams about this. No. I'm just talking about doing some visual inspections from time to time to see how the compost tea is working. Do I have an insect problem? Am I suffering from blossom end rot on these peppers? Things of that nature. You got to be able to visually inspect them and take a peek at them, right? And this doesn't take hours upon hours each day. This is a general walkthrough every few days to see how the progress is going, okay guys? So that is my plan. That is my plan to grow these 72 peppers in the front yard, and hopefully we will get some production. So hey guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I sure appreciate it. This honestly is probably going to be the most boring of the videos because planning sucks, but it's a necessary evil, and I plan to learn something from this grow this year. So thanks for watching me. Hope you like the progress of the peppers going on here. I'm really excited about it. They're a nice deep green, and they're getting some nice length to them, so they're ready right now to be planted. I just need Mother Nature to cooperate, so say a few prayers for that, guys, alright? Anyway, thanks for checking me out. Come back, lots more videos. Like, subscribe. Thanks, guys. Peace.